Alrighty, it is Sunday, which means the kingdom comes with some twists. Here we have include sail, and each player starts with a falconer, an overgrown estate, an acropolis, and 7 copper. So this is like a shelter start, except instead of the hovel, we have a much better blue card. This is actually pretty much equivalent to what you would get if you had the trait inherited on falconer. Inherited is the trait from plunder that allows you to start with 1 copy of that card in place of 1 card. And I think Hovel is almost always the card that you would replace. So we get a free Falconer. That bottom 5 is going to be 2 coppers, Overrun Estate, Necropolis, and a Falconer. And Sale is the one you can kind of tell looking at all the prices. Sale is the global cost reduction one. This one's shown up before, more than once, I think. Okay, huh. For this kingdom, the landscapes are cathedral and receive tribute. What would synergize with receive tribute here? Supplies, I think, is a decent receive tribute enabler. You play 3 supplies, you're getting a horse off each of those, and then you can buy receive tribute and get a bunch of actions. Falconer gains things, armor gains things. That being said, actions are kind of weak in this kingdom. The upside of getting a bunch of them is not all that high, actually. Where is this going? How, so there's not really any draw here. Apothecary can draw coppers, but there's no way to increase your hand size aside from putting more and more coppers in your hand. Horse would otherwise be a draw card, but the only way to get horse in this kingdom is from supplies. You have to play a stop card to get a card that draws you 1. You're just breaking even. Supplies, in a roundabout way, is basically just a peddler or a poacher. Um, the cards that just say +1 card, +1 action, +1 coin. Supplies doesn't take an action to play, so it's kind of equivalent to an action that gives 1 action back. And although it's a copper the turn you play it, you get a draw card the next turn, so you're breaking even on draw. Generally a decent card, I would say. Okay, so you got villages with acting troop, and trail can be a village if you discard it or trash it. You got plus buy. You got crashing with cathedral. Yeah, there's just no draw, so there's not a whole lot to do here, I think. Hmm. Hmm. So buy cathedral turn 1. To me, that seems like the most significant decision in this kingdom. Uh, So on the one hand, cathedrals in general are strong. I think the default answer is usually that you click it, barring a reason not to. And then I think a second argument in cathedral's favor is trail is around, which mitigates the main downside of cathedral, which is once you've trashed all your junk cards, you can't turn it off again. So you're still trashing stuff whether you want to or not. And if you have trails in your deck, for example, which you could pretty painlessly pick up off of the Falconer, then you don't have otherwise any junk in your hand. You just trash a trail, and then trigger trails effect, draw a card for free, and then you dodge the cathedral on a turn where you didn't want it. Against cathedral, the biggest concern I think is legionary plus gold. Cathedral hurts a bit from discard attacks. And legionary is a particularly obnoxious one. You discard down to 2 cards in hand. You have to keep 1 junk card to trash the cathedral because you have no guarantee you're going to draw a junk card off the top of your deck. And then you're basically only able to keep 1 valuable card from your hand. That could lead to some nasty turns. Uh, Supplies, it's probably a mixed bag with Cathedral. On the one hand, you buy a bunch of supplies early, then your starting hand is just going to be populated with horses that are all top decked. And then Cathedral's not going to find the junk very easily. Later on, if you're out of junk, you might be happy to take a horse and trash it, so that nothing more valuable gets trashed to Cathedral. The alternative to Cathedral, I think, would just be skipping trashing and playing with Apothecary. Uh, in favor of that, I do have a Falconer plus 2 coppers down there, so Falconer gaining potion to hand, I could open with Apothecary, actually. Hmm. Maybe I'll try it both ways. I'm gonna go with Apothecary in this kingdom. I think this draw just seems much more conducive to it. Could see Cathedral being better. I'll test that again afterwards. So what do I open with in turn 1? Outpost actually seems pretty reasonable as an opener. In some sense, this is just like a smithy. You draw 3 extra cards at the end of your turn. Uh, Normally it's not very good to get outposts early because you're going to be hitting tiny numbers. But here, there's like if I hit one, I'd be fine buying supplies. So I think I'm okay opening outpost already. And then here I'll proceed to gain a potion and take an apothecary. Uh, what do I want here? I think sale is probably a reason to score sooner than you otherwise think you need to. Everything costs less, so the game should end sooner. Plus the kingdom's pretty weak, so I don't think I have big long-term game plans. I'm thinking maybe just like Legionary here, Rice once or twice, and then Province once I start hitting 7. Okay, I'll take one more Apothecary. This isn't 7, is it? No, there's nothing super helpful I can gain with this Falconer that would get me to... Or no, 6 is the number I need to hit, but I also can't get to 6. Um, Unfortunately, so there are cards like Sculptor or Artisan that benefit a lot from one cost reduction because, like Sculptor, for example, the 5 that gains 4s, Artisan's a 6 that gains 5s, and if you reduce the cost of everything by 1, all of a sudden Sculptor can gain Sculptor and Artisan can gain Artisan. Falconer, it would just be too broken if it functioned like that because if you gain itself to hand, then it would trigger on itself, and then you just empty all 10 Falconers at once. Whereas with Sculptor, you at least need the actions to do that. With Artisan, you need the actions and the draw. You have to top deck something. So Falconer, instead of saying gain a card costing up to 4, it says gain a card costing less than this, which means even if it costs 4, it's still gaining only cheaper things. Uh, I guess I'll just take a supplies and a legionary and one more Falconer. I don't know. Okay, this is 7, right? If I want it to be, or I keep saying 7. I'm forgetting about the cost reduction. 6. I think I want a rice now. One more legionary. Okay. First Falconer gains a trail. Play that. Activate the second Falconer. Also gain a trail. Play that. And now I got a village out of it. I'll take province already. Oh! Necropolis is another type. I forgot to count shelters. Let's take one more rice. The bot is doing something pretty similar. This just feels like such an unsystematic kingdom. I'm clicking things very haphazardly for lack of a long-term game plan. I would love to find an outpost if I could, but the odds that I draw it are low. In fact, they might be 0. Is it in my discard? It's probably in my discard. I'm not sure if it's in my discard. I'll just gain supplies and put a horse on top. Two provinces and another supplies. Oh, there's the outpost. Maybe I should have drawn on. The chance of drawing that might have been worth it. Another province. Can't quite afford apothecary, alas. Oh, if only I had a village, this would be another province. It's like a duchy. Bot buys a duchy. I don't think there's room for the bot to be playing it safe, given that it's that far behind in points. Can I hit 7 here at all? Probably not, right? Got 3 money in hand. Well, if I could play the trail, play the falconer, gain a silver, play the other falconer, gain a silver, I would hit 7, but I don't have enough actions for that. If I draw the Necropolis, then I can't draw the second falconer. Uh, I think the answer is it's not happening. And you know what I didn't even notice until just now, but Armory can gain duchies. Wonder if that's any good. Though I just kind of want to end the game, given them up in points and provinces are low. And maybe that comes up in the near future. Hmm. I'm just going to draw one of the provinces off the top to get it off the top of the deck. Take a supplies and buy a duchy. This has to be 7, right? Do I need to gain a silver? If I can afford a province gaining supplies, I'd rather do that. I think I can, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 types. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bot has decided to end it, which I think is reasonable. I don't think it was coming back there. We did fairly similar things. I added an outpost, which I think was significant, and legionaries, which I don't think were very significant. Um, this seemed okay. I'm gonna try it one more time with village. Sorry, not with village. I don't know why I said village. With cathedral is what I meant to say. Uh, so let's just go ahead and get supplies, I guess. Cathedral. Probably ought to keep the Necropolis around, right? That seems pretty useful with the rice. Not 100% on that. One more Falconer. Take that. There is an upside to doing this, even if I was just going to gain a supplies anyway. I'm about to trigger a shuffle of this over going to state. Now that I have played my Falconer on Hardbot's turn, it's back on my discard, and it's going to show up sooner rather than later. Go ahead and take that Outpost now. Actually, Outpost is kind of nasty with Cathedral, isn't it? Because you have to trash on the Cathedral turn as well. I think Trail should mitigate that enough for Outpost to still be good in this deck. Take a Trail. And supplies via armory. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure I'm doing in this version of the deck either. Receive tribute's active, isn't it? Look at that. I got an apothecary anyway. Didn't really plan on that. Okay, so next goal is to get to 7. Can I do that sooner rather than later? Hopefully. Goodbye, horse. This doesn't look like 7. I do see an outpost on top, which is good news. Bot's got its first rice. Hopefully I can follow suit here. This should be 7, right? Yeah, this should be 7. I keep... Rice costs 6 in this kingdom. I've made that mistake. I don't know how many times, but it's a lot of times. Play that. Stick another supplies. If you consider an acting troop, as it could resolve awkward terminal collisions like Outpost plus Legionary. But I think if I have a bunch of trails on the deck, Cathedral Trashing Trail is a fairly reliable village in any case. Already gonna lose a horse here. I think I probably want one more rice, and now I can start thinking about provinces. I'm gonna draw all of that, no sense reordering it. Okay. Armory, gain a trail, play that, activate the falconers, gain another trail, play that. Okay, maybe I'm just taking all the trails. I should watch out for pilots here. Maybe there's like a duchy rush of sorts. Yep. New game plan. We're piling duchies somehow. I feel like I've got a lot of gains. And I notice the piles are low. Goodbye, horse. Hello, more horses. I'll leave the horses on top. I don't think there's a lot of turns left in the game, so I'm thinking maybe trashing the supplies is better than trashing a horse here. Is the immediate draw. Oh no, my poor legionary. I should have gotten that acting troop at some point, apparently. There we go. The trail has come in handy. Oh, that's not a good draw. Didn't really want to see both outposts. Gain a trail. Piles are low and I'm behind on points, so it's not a good combination. I'm going to top take an outpost, because I know I don't have any outposts coming up, and I do value taking extra turns. Quite a lot, in fact. Am I doing better this time? Or is the cathedral plan just worse? I'm not sure which of those is true. I guess I'll play an acting troop. So play all this. I'm out of trails. Gain a silver. Buy a duchy. I could gain an armory and gain a duchy, but then it would top deck itself, and I don't really want the duchy to be on top of my deck. Okay, this is dangerous territory. Bot finds plus buy pile duchies. Do I want to take the anti-penultimate duchy? Loses to double duchy. Well, if I don't want it, duchy should not be the card that I'm top decking. Maybe armory top deck something else. One more outpost, and then I buy a duchy. Okay, so I need province and a duchy to win here. See if that's doable. Ooh, not with this draw. It's not. Oh, actually, no, this is not so bad. I forgot I had the villagers. So I need to hit 7 here. Or double duchy. This is 1 coin short, right? If I gained an armory, used armory to gain a duchy and bought the last duchy, that would be a win. But I'm 1 coin shy of that. There's no way to draw on any deeper into the turn, right? And it's 2 coins short of a province. Most this falconer can get me to hand is 2 more money. Can't take 2 estates. That would lose to an estate buy. I think I'm just dead in the water unless the bot does, right? Probably shouldn't lower duchies, because if it takes a duchy on its turn, I could take province duchy in response and still win. Do I need an estate? If I take an estate and the bot takes duchy estate, the estate will come in handy. But if the bot Has two. Yeah, I think I'm not taking the estate. I think I'm just gonna get another acting troop into play. I'm probably losing this one. Armory doesn't really matter. Ooh, the bot has something of a dud here. As do I. This deck doesn't really do anything. I can't afford to buy a lot of duchy. I would be losing. I need to hope the bot has a complete dud, and then I hit some province plus duchy turn. Yeah, okay, that's game. The bot just did the same thing again. Maybe the apothecary plan just is better than the. It's weird that I have 4 outposts. I think 2 outposts is pretty reasonable. I'm surprised I ended up with 4 of them. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is better. It certainly performed better, which is a case in its favor. Um, in the small sample size of 2 total games. I'm still not sure what to say about this kingdom. I remain confused by it. Um, but I'm a little bit more confident in Apothecary than I was at the start.